Franklin Media TV. Wanted to bring you an article here and some thoughts from the JerusalemPost.com. Is there an unprecedented buildup of naval power in the Middle East? The article states. Massive amount of air power and U.S. naval assets were suddenly in the same place at the same time. That's right, guys. Two U.S. aircraft carrier strike groups operated in the Mediterranean Sea this week. The USS Abraham Lincoln on its way towards the Persian Gulf crossed paths with the USS John C. Stennis, which has come from the Gulf and left the Suez Canal in the Mediterranean. Massive amount of air power and U.S. naval assets were suddenly in the same place at the same time. As if that wasn't enough, the Stennis had just carried out a joint pass exercises with France's Charles de Gaulle carrier strike group in the Red Sea. Also, there was other Navy ships in the area. The guided missile destroyer USS McFall, the guided missile cruiser USS Mobile Bay, the Royal Danish Navy frigate, and the French air defense destroyer FS Forbin were in the area. The Defense Post reported the same information, noting that the French Rafale aircraft and the American F-18s conducted training together. The USS Stennis had already carried out 2 weeks of training with France's Marine National Defense destroyer. For observers of U.S. naval power, the gather of forces appears important, Lenny Ben David noted, where there are carriers, and pointed out the rendezvous coincided with the first F-35 deployment at the UAE. He noted that the amphibious Ready Group was in the Gulf at the same time as the Stennis and the Lincoln were moving towards one another. It raised interest from Iran watchers as well. This gentleman here, Babak Taghiv, who tweets often about military issues in the region, know that the Stennis had 50 F-18s on board. The presence of carriers and their strike groups have led to two different narratives. Task and Purpose website asserts that they sent a message to Russia. Stars and Stripes agreed with that assessment, noting that Naval Forces Europe and Africa commanders met U.S. Ambassador to Russia John Huntsman Jr. U.S. has said that Russia's aggressive actions and interventions in Syria, Libya, and elsewhere destabilize these areas. It's crucial that we give our civilian leaders options and the ability to negotiate from a position of strategic strength. Washington Examiner thinks that the presence of all the naval assets in the area send a message to Iran. And here's where I was coming around with that kind of full circle. Now, there have been kind of conflicting reports in the media as of recently, some saying that U.S.-led aircraft were bombing strategic Syrian positions and oil tankers inside Syria. Others are saying that these reports are a hoax and nothing's happened. The Syrian military and Syrian government even stating much that they received no such attacks. Now the issue here is that somebody's lying, and I don't really know which one it is yet. It's very confusing. I've been reading that the U.S. Wants to cut off a supply line that would run from Tehran through Iraq into Syria, and the U.S. is trying to cut off this supply line to prevent the Iranians from selling oil to the Syrians. I guess that's one way to do it, would be through tankers on land. The other way, I guess, would be to go through the sea. I don't know if this strike group is part of that, if they plan on or are, in fact, choking out Iran's oil supply to the rest of the country, or the world, I should say. So if you guys know anything about this, chime in the comments. Let me know if you've heard anything. I am seeing these conflicting reports. doing some research. I'm trying to figure out which one is true. I mean, there are some YouTube guys on there saying that this is in fact happening now, and it's being kept under wraps, that the mainstream media is not picking up on these attacks, these U.S. attacks into Syria, while other mainstream media sites are shooting it down completely, saying it's absolutely false and nothing's happening. Um, the fact that there's all these Navy ships and aircraft in the area tells me something's happening. I just don't know what it is and why it's being kept, so close to the vest, so to speak. Again, if anyone knows anything, uh, please feel to put your comments in the comments section. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your updates on this. Thanks for watching Franklin Media TV.